The new season is here. Lagena brother will be back to start a new excavation session in November.
10 years ago, we never would have anticipated going underground in the money pit.
What we're seeing is high-density anomaly below the surface of the money pit.
Yup. Will this be the most exciting historical season yet? The stage is set because the last 3 biggest finds from Season 10 have already taken the world by storm.
We need to get to the bottom of the garden shaft. Could be the offset chamber that we seek.
For people across the globe, the belief that they will finally solve a 228-year-old treasure mystery has never been higher. To start off, I am going to begin with analyzing the Lot 5 barter token. A couple of months after Gary found the Roman coin with Rick, he and Jack Begley fared well once again with a curious, non-ferrous target. But what did they find this time? A lead barter token. It was most likely used as a form of currency several centuries ago, but it wasn't made of silver or gold. But let me emphasize one thing here again. Lead artifacts found on Oak Island have sometimes proven to be the greatest clues in helping to solve the mystery. Meanwhile, when archaeometallurgist Emma Colligan analyzed the token, her initial take on its possible origin was more than compelling. But when chemist Dr. Chris McFarland conducted isotope testing on the lead, his laser-focused findings made for an unbelievable moment. According to my judgment and analysis, the object was relatively easy to identify because it was flat, a favorable characteristic for analysis. Yet, it wouldn't have been a piece of cake because it had a very thick, altered crust on it, indicating that it had been submerged for quite some time. Without a doubt, it has endured significant environmental changes over the years. Now hear this out.
The biggest result is that isotopically, it looks very similar to the cross.
No way. I wasn't expecting that.
The Lot 5 token was an exact compositional match to the 14th century lead cross, signifying that both originated from southern France, a region where the Knights Templar maintained a stronghold until the early 1300s. The lead in the disc apparently matches virtually identically with the lead in the lead cross, which is a head-scratcher. Another very significant thing that could tie the Templars to this location is the discovery of the W's, and then all those other W's pieces are going to fall right into place. The second major discovery of this season is the real banger, because in the last dig of the year, they stumbled upon yet another puzzling discovery. This discovery marks the importance of direction, a possible map, to lead them to gold. It suggests that the gold is hidden somewhere deep within the money pit. The main focus remained on the money pit area, and they continued to excavate the B4C shaft. The B4C shaft is very close to reaching its full depth of around 90 feet. It is located barely 5 feet to the north of the borehole C. In the C1 cluster, including what might be evidence of wooden tunnels that date back to the 15th century. In addition, significant traces of silver and gold were found, which has led to conjecture on the site of the original money pit, as well as the likelihood of a tunnel that leads to a treasure room. The fact that they found gold deposits in the water is another motivator. But how they found these deposits is a tale in itself. They gathered samples in plastic bottles. The entire process aimed to ascertain whether gold was in the water and, if so, where it might be. Even so, what is the scientific basis for this fascinating jelly material? The blob is a complicated material, and it still needs to be clarified precisely what makes it up. The experts think it combines gold, iron, and sulfur. It is believed that the gold came from an organic gold deposit on Oak Island, and the soil in the vicinity provided the chemicals. In its aftermath, I think that the fusion of these materials created the pink blob. Meanwhile, Marty Lagina made light of the possibility that the island's secret would be kept in a little plastic bottle, despite 200 years of extensive expenditure and effort. In the war room, the men were gathered, and Marty demanded to know about the gold. Fortunately, he didn't let them down. And surprisingly, there is more good news. Dr. Dred Michel, a hydrogeologist, said that the concealed gold was located only a short distance from the sea. According to my calculations, it is between 80 and 110 feet deep. This is also consistent with earlier researchers who discovered an engraved stone at a height of 90 feet, or around the same level. It was thought the marking indicated the location of a hidden treasure. Meanwhile, Rick and Marty carried on with their first descent into the garden shaft. Faithful acorns know that the genesis of what would become the Curse of Oak Island began when Rick Lagena was just 11 years old, growing up in northern Michigan. There, he read a 5-page story in the Reader's Digest entitled Oak Island's Mysterious Money Pit. That one brief write-up of the fabled treasure pit and the questions about what it might contain would captivate both him and his younger brother Marty for nearly 50 years until they could take over the hunt themselves. And after more than a decade into their quest, once the garden shaft reconstruction was nearing completion during Season 10, Rick, accompanied by Scott Barlow and Roger Fora, got to make his first descent underground in the money pit area. Since evidence of gold was detected in the garden shaft during its reconstruction, once it was completed to a depth of 82 feet, Marty got his first chance to experience what he had only read about as a child. The Onslow employees next excavated through a level platform or an unidentified vault structure, but they had to stop when the shaft flooded. Significantly, it has been hypothesized by the Oak Island crew that the laborers may have discovered the treasure vault. The team believes that the gold may have been brought to the money pit throughout the course of the dig, and will continue to pursue the progress aspiration to one day stumble upon Marie Antoinette's jewels, or the Ark of the Covenant. But all they ended up finding so far was an intricate network of wooden tunnels. These tunnels date back to the 15th century, but how did people at that time know how to build tunnels? As the run continues, the group discovers a few loose pieces of wood, but the most important find is a large iron fastener. Because of the primitive style of craftsmanship, it is thought to date back to the 1800s, if not earlier. They believe that this discovery gives them a sense that the money pit is somewhere near. One of the artifacts uncovered is a hand-forged spike, which rapidly becomes the center of attention. Because they understand the importance of each lead, the group will launch an inquiry into the surge. It has a rough appearance, yet it contains hand-forged raw iron and indications of aging, making it a valuable artifact with the potential to give insights into Oak Island's history. I find the importance of linking dots to be something fundamental in this whole pursuit. In my pursuit, I ran into an expert statement. Carmen Legg, a person whose life speaks of his love for finding the unknown, concludes that the iron spike that was discovered in the B4C shaft belonged to a rock drill that was used during the medieval era. Last but not least, the garden shaft's greatest hits. Just before winter forced the team to halt their search operations, representatives from Dumi believed they may have encountered a tunnel some 10 feet below the bottom of the garden shaft. Rick and Marty then made their way to the bottom of the shaft together in order to investigate. It's like a childhood fantasy coming true, isn't it? At this stage, Rick and Marty, after 60 years, made their way into the money pit. After all the trace evidence of gold that was detected in water and wood samples during the reconstruction of the garden shaft, it was time for the metal-detecting ninja to see what he could find at the bottom, and it made for one Bobby Dazzler of a moment. He then connected it to a couple of swags the crew had discovered 2 years earlier, suggesting that one of the functions of the swags was to sharpen rock drills. He drew this connection by noting the presence of swags in the same location. The rock drill, a tool employed for drilling rocks or breaking up massive boulders, is believed to have a long history. It resembles those used during the medieval period. Its existence introduces a realm of intriguing possibilities concerning the history of the money pit and the hidden wealth within. The group deliberates whether this artifact provides further evidence of their proximity to the legendary riches. The rock drill holds historical significance as it could have been utilized in the initial construction of the money pit. And what season finale would be complete without a weeping Rick Lagena giving a moving and motivational speech? Will this actually lead to a treasure in the end? Who knows? Further expeditions by the Lagena boys will uncover the story. And to always stay safe, you need to be informed. So subscribe to the channel where I try all my might to bring you the latest and greatest from the archaeological world. In the end, it will be interesting to see if they can eventually decipher Oak Island's riddle. Final lead for the team. The Curse of Oak Island has haunted humanity for centuries. Different minds have created different speculations, and some of them have even found physical evidence. So today, I am bringing you 3 wildest treasure stories about the island. The curse began to find different backings after the legend of Captain Kidd became a folklore, a notorious pirate who is rumored to have buried treasure on Oak Island. It is said that he placed a curse on the treasure to protect it from being discovered. Fast forward to 2023, June 7th, 2023. The Lagena brothers made a significant discovery in their search for the Oak Island treasure with a new scanning tool called ground-penetrating radar. They were excavating in Smith's Cove, an area of the island believed to be the treasure's location, when they found a large stone slab buried 10 feet under the ground with strange symbols of 1 inch carved into it. The slab weighs around 1,000 pounds and is composed of limestone and about 3 feet broad, 2 feet tall, and 6 inches thick. The Lagena brothers sought professional aid for interpretation because they thought the symbols on the slab had some significance despite being unintelligible. Sadly, thus far, their efforts haven't been fruitful. This is the first significant discovery in the area since they started looking in 2015. The brothers are relentlessly digging in the region in the hopes of finding further leads, since they are persuaded that the slab may contain a hint as to the whereabouts of the riches. Besides the stone slab, they have also discovered several other priceless things at Smith's Cove, including coins, wooden planks, and beams, among other artifacts, over the years. But that's not all. The brothers claim that these discoveries show a sophisticated flood control mechanism was in place to safeguard the jewels, bringing them one step closer to finding the treasure buried on Oak Island. And this time, they go on many different terrain and paths. On June 14th, 2023, the team discovered a broken piece of old metal, adding more confusion in this decade-old treasure hunt. The metal has a diameter of approximately 1 inch and is about ½ an inch thick. It is made of a copper alloy and has an illegible raised pattern on one side that shows a face or human form. According to the brothers, this metal object was part of a coin made in the 17th century, which is a significant hint that Oak Island's treasures were hidden there then. Although unclear, the experts think it to be a chunk of money. Who knows? On top of that, they struggle to explain the meaning of the coin's design. This metal chunk is the second most significant discovery in the area, which signifies yet another crucial development in the ongoing search for Oak Island's treasures. The lads continue to scan the environment intently in search of fresh cues. To them, the design appeared as an ambiguous face of a human. The metal item that was unexpectedly found 12 feet below the surface weighs barely 0.5 ounces. Moving on with the discoveries, on June 21st, 2023, the Lagena brothers made another important discovery, an unusual little piece of wood. It was initially built from oak, which has a remarkable texture. According to the Lagena brothers, the wood could have come from a ship buried on Oak Island in the distant past. And this finding in particular is crucial because it adds evidence suggesting a ship buried the wealth on Oak Island, whereas it implies that precious cargo like gold or silver may have been carried by the ship. In an interview, the crew members said the piece of wood was discovered 15 feet below the ground's surface. Days after days, they were excavating in Smith's Cove on the island, which is supposed to be where the treasure is hidden, when they came upon a little ceramic shard that they believed to be from a jug. The ceramic object is 2 inches in diameter and 0.5 inches thick. It was formed of a substance that mimics clay and has a particular pattern on one side. In the pattern, a flower or plant was observed. The Lagena brothers claim the ceramic piece may have come from a jug used to transport wine or other liquids. This would prove that humans were residing on Oak Island in the 17th century, since it would show where the treasure could be buried. They have made several fascinating discoveries in their search, including several Roman artifacts. A lead sword is among the most important Roman artifacts that the Lagena brothers unearthed. And, to everyone's surprise, Smith's Cove is where the sword was located. The sword is assumed to have been manufactured in Italy and dates to the 1st or 2nd century AD, which is ornamented with several motifs, including a dolphin and a trident, and it is in generally good shape. The pottery fragment is another remarkable Roman artifact that the Lagena brothers unearthed. It was discovered in the island's Money Pit region and supposed to have been produced in France and dates to the 4th or 5th century AD. On the other hand, it was decorated with symbols, including a cross and a sundial. The brothers discovered several other Roman artifacts on Oak Island beside the lead sword and the piece of pottery. Coins, nails, and jewelry are some of these relics. Some people think that Oak Island was previously visited by Roman explorers because of the existence of these Roman articles. A reality television series called The Curse of Oak Island follows the hunt for riches on Oak Island. The brothers Rick and Marty Lagena, who have been looking for the loot for more than 10 years, are followed throughout the series. The Lagena brothers and their gang continued their hunt for riches on the mysterious island in the most recent episode of The Curse of Oak Island, picking up where the previous one left off. The crew concentrated on the marsh in this episode because it was the location of several intriguing artifacts they had previously discovered, including a lead cross and a stone with the Latin inscription 70 feet below. They were able to locate several abnormalities in the swamp using a range of techniques, including sonar and ground-penetrating radar, which they suspect might represent the remnants of buried buildings. One of the most intriguing oddities is a big rectangular object around 70 feet below the surface. The crew is excited to dig into this to see what they uncover, since they think it may be a treasure box. The crew must not harm what they seek, since the marsh is challenging and dangerous. Eventually, they excavated a tiny area of the item, but could not see what was within. In a later episode, they will have to go back to the swamp to carry on their hunt. Yet, the crew made modest strides on other parts of the island. They started digging a new shaft close to the marsh and continued to drill in the money pit location. The crew made some progress in their hunt for riches, even though they made no significant finds in this episode. They are optimistic that the forthcoming episodes will include something important. As more proof that Oak Island has long been the location of covert operations, or more precisely, clichés, the presence of a nearby treasure, the researchers also discovered traces of earlier human activity. That's not it, though. The real deal was the map they found on the island, which dated back to 1647. It was a French copy, with the labels hatch, valve, and anchor, suggested significant connections. In particular, it suggested that the money may have come from Africa, raising the intrigue around Oak Island. The brothers are convinced this map will point them toward their lost money. The series has followed their journey for... The enthralling tale of persistent search culminates in a horrible final excavation that rewrites history and challenges the human imagination. Prepare to be astounded, because reality is more magnificent than your wildest dreams. It's the Lagena brothers again. During the final phase of excavation at Oak Island, they made a terrible discovery with their crew. On the 140 acres of the supposedly cursed Oak Island, the Lagena brothers and metal detector expert Gary Drayton have primarily discovered clay, wood, and metal implements. But they have also discovered a number of rare artifacts. But what precisely are these insanity-inducing discoveries they make during the final Oak Island excavation? As we unearth each piece of treasure discovered in the final section of The Curse of Oak Island, the truth becomes apparent. When the excavation reached a depth of 190 feet, a subterranean vault that had been concealed for a long time was discovered. There was an overwhelming sense of surprise and disbelief. The group cautiously entered the room as their pulses raced in anticipation. Inside its dimly lit confines, they witnessed an extraordinary sight. In front of them was a glittering tableau of extraordinary wealth, comprised of piles of gold and silver coins, antique artifacts, and priceless diamonds. The treasure was quickly estimated to be worth billions, making it one of the most significant discoveries in history. The artifacts disclosed a rich history, connecting Oak Island to antiquity and validating long-debated hypotheses. As news of the discovery spread like wildfire, it attracted the attention of historians, archaeologists, and treasure hunters all over the globe. As specialists dedicated their time to discovering the treasure's origins and legends, Oak Island became the focal point of the investigation. The Lagena brothers have spent their entire 9-season tenure searching for treasures buried on the island by the Knights Templar, British soldiers, or even Spanish pirates. In the Season 1 finale of The Curse of Oak Island, titled The Find, metal detectorist Steve Zazulik discovered a 8-inscribed coin while investigating a swamp. Later, it was determined that it was a copper Spanish 8 maravedis coin from the 17th century. In the Season 2 premiere, Once In, Forever In, the coin was cleansed and examined, revealing that 1652 was inscribed on the reverse. Additional examination of the coin revealed that it had been lost in the marsh for hundreds of years and was not a recently deposited object. All indications pointed to the fact that this was a legitimate historical discovery, the first of many throughout the program. Could this inconspicuous copper coin be evidence of previously undiscovered pirate treasure? The Lagena brothers appeared to be on the right track in their search for Oak Island's concealed wealth. In the second episode of the second season, Return to the Money Pit, treasure hunter Gary Drayton discovered not one, but two distinctive treasures while metal detecting. He made his first discovery near Oak Island's shore. Drayton and his associates discovered a button from a 17th century military officer's uniform, although it is unknown to which military it belonged. However, it could be evidence that the military was responsible for some of the confidential information on the island. In the interim, Drayton and his companions discovered their second find of the day in a nearby forest. A small coin that appeared to be a 17th century Maravedi similar to the one discovered in the season finale of the previous year was concealed in the soil. Compared to other coins, however, this one was substantially smaller, perhaps the size of two. During the final excavation on Oak Island, researchers made a dreadful discovery. It will alter everything we thought we knew about the enigmatic past of the island. Prepare to uncover the Oak Island mystery that has captivated treasure hunters for centuries. Let's immediately begin the video. Oak Island has been the site of numerous intriguing discoveries over the years, including fragments of ancient parchment, chunks of rusty iron, and even a stone with intricate engravings. However, we now have some mind-blowing updates regarding the horrifying discovery made during excavation on Oak Island. Join us as we explore the mysteries of Oak Island and unearth the truth about this extraordinary discovery. As soon as the television program The Curse of Oak Island made a horrifying discovery at the bottom of the money pit, the situation rapidly deteriorated. The Oak Island personnel closely monitored the B4C shaft excavation in the money pit region. As the crew approached a depth of approximately 90 feet, they detected abundant traces of silver and gold. The team's astounding discovery sparked intense speculation that they may have discovered the approximate location of the mysterious money pit or stumbled upon a network of tunnels that could lead to a hidden treasure chamber. Despite having reached the most thrilling phase of the excavation, the team remained resolute and unyielding, refusing to give up until the objective was reached. The team's confidence increased when they discovered a 90-foot deep tunnel, which they interpreted as a sign that they were coming closer to the original money pit. They were unfazed by the arduous voyage they had undertaken thus far, fueled by their unwavering conviction that their dogged pursuit was bringing them closer to discovering the legendary secrets concealed deep within the mysterious money pit. Frightful discovery at Oak Island during final excavation has been an exciting journey for those who appreciate witnessing the discovery of historical artifacts. The team had been anxiously awaiting progress in the excavation of the money pit region in the hopes of discovering the elusive treasure that has fascinated generations. Every time they dug, they awaited the next scoop or grasp with bated breath, hoping it would be the breakthrough they had been seeking. As they dug deeper, the team discovered scattered fragments of wood that formed a crucial historical puzzle. Among the dispersed remains, they discovered a large and impressive iron object that appeared to be from a bygone era, perhaps as far back as the 1700s. This fortunate discovery provided a glimmer of optimism, indicating that they were moving closer to their ultimate objective, the legendary money pit. However, their journey to unveil the mysteries concealed beneath the surface of the earth took an unexpected turn. At the approximate 130-foot depth of the B4C shaft, just as they were gaining momentum, they were confronted with a shocking discovery: a formidable bedrock formation impeding their progress. This geological impediment sent shockwaves throughout the team, halting their progress and plunging them into a domain of uncertainty. The team's efforts uncovered evidence of a concealed treasure despite encountering obstacles. They dug 5 enormous shafts over the course of several months and discovered indications of its existence. As they were on the verge of disclosing a long-held secret, these discoveries inspired renewed optimism. However, pursuing the money pit had been an arduous and challenging endeavor for centuries. The quest was fraught with obstacles that required unwavering resolve and originality. Motivated by the possibility of acquiring a priceless treasure that had eluded countless others, the team descended into the money pit in search of the enigmatic treasure. The crew began a difficult mission with the knowledge that obstacles lay ahead. They actively sought out new technologies and strategies to surmount the obstacles. They pursued the treasure with great determination, expecting that their efforts would pay off. However, their journey was not solely motivated by prosperity. Oak Island's search for the money pit had a deeper significance. The exploration was motivated by a desire to uncover the mysterious mysteries that had captivated people for centuries. With each stage, the team delved deeper into Oak Island's complexities, driven by an insatiable desire to uncover its hidden truths. The team's unwavering dedication to unraveling Oak Island's mysteries was demonstrated by their unflinching pursuit. Their unyielding determination and tenacity accentuated the noble pursuit of knowledge and discovery, resulting in an enduring tale that will forever be associated with human curiosity. Oak Island has been an enigma for centuries, attracting the attention of treasure hunters, historians, and conspiracy theorists. With each new discovery made by the devoted exploration crew, the allure of the island has grown. Experts were astounded to discover a paved area in the wetland, a peculiar anomaly. In addition, they discovered a 500-year-old stone road, shedding light on the island's ancient history and heightening the mystery encircling its secrets. A mid-15th century rock drill was discovered in the B4C shaft, which was possibly the most astonishing discovery. This artifact has prompted speculation about the island's hidden history and valuable treasures. As Oak Island continues to disclose its secrets, the world eagerly anticipates additional discoveries and the chance to decipher its ancient mysteries. The Lagena brothers and their devoted team embarked on an extraordinary voyage to uncover Oak Island's long-held secrets. Their efforts and breakthroughs brought them closer to the legendary treasure, increasing their confidence that it was within reach. One discovery in particular stood out among their recent discoveries. As they meticulously scrutinized the rock drill discovered in the B4C shaft, a profound realization occurred. This ostensibly unremarkable artifact had the potential to be crucial evidence, leading them directly to the concealed treasure chamber buried beneath the ground. The crew made a remarkable discovery that sparked intense speculation. Through a network of tunnels, they believed they were near to discovering the elusive money pit, or a hidden treasure chamber. Even though they were in the final phase of excavation, the crew remained determined to reach their goal. When they discovered a 90-foot deep tunnel, they believed it was a sign that they were approaching the original money pit. Unfazed by the difficulty of the voyage thus far, they proceeded with the unshakable conviction that they were getting closer to uncovering the mysteries of the money pit. Armed with newly acquired knowledge and an insatiable desire for answers, the Lagena brothers and their companions prepared to delve even deeper, prepared to confront the mysteries that awaited them. Each step drew them closer to uncovering the centuries-old secrets that had been concealed. Their determination was fueled by their unwavering pursuit of the treasure, which had captivated the minds of innumerable explorers before them. The group developed a novel strategy based on their previous findings. They decided to concentrate their efforts on investigating the mysterious stone-paved area in the swamp because they believed it would provide important clues as to the location of the treasure. Using advanced ground-penetrating radar technology, they scanned the surface of the swamp, revealing anomalies that may indicate the presence of concealed chambers or tunnels. The ground-penetrating radar surveys uncovered a remarkable discovery, a network of interconnected tunnels beneath the swamp. The crew realized that these tunnels may hold the key to unlocking Oak Island's final secrets. The crew was filled with anticipation as they prepared to investigate these underground passages, knowing that they were on the verge of a significant discovery. With their specialized equipment and protective gear, the crew entered the recently unearthed tunnels with courage. The ambiance inside was damp and unsettling, which amplified their feelings of excitement and danger. As they progressed deeper into the complex labyrinth, they discovered shards of tools, signs of human habitation, and cryptic symbols etched into the tunnel walls. Each step brought them closer to the long-awaited revelation. After years of arduous searching, the team uncovered a secret chamber concealed deep within the tunnels. As they cautiously opened the chamber door, they were dumbfounded by what they saw. They stood there in awe as they encountered the ultimate prize they had tirelessly sought. The treasure that had evaded them for what seemed like an eternity suddenly materialized before their eyes. It was an awe-inspiring sight, a collection of dazzling jewels, each glistening in its own brilliant hue. Alongside them were artifacts that told tales of long-vanished civilizations. The containers were brimming with unfathomable riches, including gold and silver that glistened with unrivaled opulence. After years of effort, the Oak Island curse was ultimately resolved. Their perseverance and diligence paid off as they uncovered secrets that had been concealed for centuries. In that moment of triumph, they felt a mixture of pleasure and relief, knowing that their perseverance had led to the discovery of a lifetime. Click the subscribe button if the video has piqued your interest thus far. The discovery of the treasure on Oak Island was not only a triumph for the Lagena brothers and their team, but also a demonstration of human tenacity and the enduring appeal of adventure.